The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
Welcome to Wilfred Watches Podcast, an American podcast about pro wrestling. Thanks to all the patrons who are supporting the show. Archie, Luke, Courtney, Michael, Dimitri, Freddie, John, Rick, and Juan. Thank you guys so much. We have a very special interview today with a special guest from WoW Superheroes, which is now playing on Friday nights at 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern on AXSTV, playing just after New Japan. So it's a back-to-back wrestling night on AXSTV. Very cool. They premiered last Friday with a really entertaining program. It's been a huge hit, and I'm not just saying that. It was a smooth 1 hour of pro wrestling, and it was fun. It was very entertaining. The characters were great. The wrestling was great. The production was great. It was really smooth. So please check out WoW Superheroes if you get the opportunity on AXSTV. Today we spoke to one of the stars of the show, Abilene Maverick. She is a.k.a. Barbie Hayden, who is the governor's daughter, Abilene Maverick, on WoW Superheroes. It is very much like the Glow, which is something that was in the past. You know, they made a Netflix show about Glow, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. This is essentially the same concept with a very powerful and strong characters, and it's all women's wrestling. It's a really cool show. We talked about, of course, food, because I love food. We talked about Whataburger or In-N-Out, which was a fascinating answer she gave. We talked about how the production crew, how she deals with the TV and the angles, which was a question fielded by JPQ, so thank you, man. Also, her time in China. She was the first female wrestling match in China, which was tremendous. And we also talked about health insurance that WoW is offering. So very fascinating chat. We only got about 15 minutes to talk, so I crammed as much as I could in the conversation. But I think it was a fun chat. Please enjoy it. Let me know what you think. And hopefully we can talk to other talent from the show. Here is our chat. Thank you so much for joining Wilfred Watches. I appreciate it. Coming off of a huge premiere Friday on AXSTV, not only was it a huge success online, you also got a very key victory on the premiere. How has the reception been so far for you?
Well, first off, I think that a lot of people were not surprised that I won. I mean, at least my followers were not. I wasn't surprised, but no, the reaction to it has been fantastic. I just really think that everybody thoroughly enjoyed the show and the match and the athleticism and the pageantry of it.
It was really exciting. Like, my expectations were blown out of the water. It was so fluid, so easy to watch, and I really liked how you kind of shared this universe. As my friend BJ Mendelson mentioned, you kind of shared universe with the different characters, which is really cool and something a little refreshing as a wrestling fan to see. Like, you share the universe with people like Fire, and you see Chloe walk by you. That was really fun to see that. So. Really
yeah, I have seen, you're right. I've seen a lot of really good feedback for that because I feel like, too, a lot of fans of wrestling are also fans of gaming. And in gaming, it's an all-inclusive world where the characters will, interact with one another. They'll pass each other, like, at the store or, whatever it is. I'm kind of referring to, like, maybe World of Warcraft, games like that where you're right. It is an entire universe where people can kind of submerge themselves into it. And I think that WoW really nailed that for people. It made them feel like they escaped reality for an hour.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So knowing that there's so much, a great TV production behind it, and how much has been invested into this, how do you feel? What do you feel is the biggest difference between wrestling on camera versus wrestling to a small show in front of a, small gym or something like that? How has the difference been for you?
So I feel like you shouldn't treat it any differently. I've always been very keen on the, I guess, TV, like quote unquote TV style of wrestling, because I think at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if there are 5 people in the audience or if there's 1,000. It doesn't matter where your venue is. You should still be trying to put on the best performance you can, and you need to still sell it the same way you would no matter where you are, because at the end of the day, those people still parted with their hard-earned money and their time, and that's invaluable to us. Mm-hmm. So it really doesn't make a huge difference to me. I do prefer having the TV setup, of course, because I think that at the end of the day, everybody wants that amazing, lighting system and everything like that. But it doesn't hinder the way I'm performing whatsoever.
So how is it like working under a female boss who's really, looking out for the women? Women is the key of the show. It's the focus. How does it feel? How is it like working under Jeannie Buss, who's really just steamrolling this show? How does it feel working for a female boss who puts female first?
I mean, I think to me that was that's a big reason why I think we are hitting the market so hard, and we are, I think, skyrocketing to success with women of wrestling, because no one will be an advocate for women better than a woman. And so I think that having a woman at the forefront of this company was detrimental to its success, because, she knows where we're coming from. She knows our struggles. She knows what to look for and what looks good and what's going to sell to a female audience as well, with women's wrestling. And so I think that she's the one who's going to kind of go to bat for us. And that's fantastic, because she's a tough lady, she's very fun loving. She's a great person. But at the end of the day, when she is in business mode, she means business. And that's the type of person we need backing us up.
And it sounds like she's a really big fan of the show too. So,
yes.
So that's really important to have somebody that knows exactly what to look for, and they're enjoying it too. There's a lot of discussion on the Twitterverse about independent wrestling, and there's a boom going on right now in wrestling as a whole. There seems that everything that's not WWE is independent, but I would say WoW Superheroes is a very major organization. Wouldn't you agree that this is not independent at all? This is a major organization.
Oh, absolutely. Anybody that wants to kind of corner us into saying oh, it's an independent promotion. No, it's not. We're a full TV production. We have Access backing us. We have Dish backing us, all these great companies, all these great people who 1000% are behind us. And there's nothing indie or independent about that whatsoever. I do think that, honestly, we're giving the boys run for their money. I really do believe that, because, we are the only company who is allowing a platform large enough for just women, and no one else is doing that. So it's almost in a way, it's almost like WWE isn't even our competition, because we're in completely different leagues. And I feel like we're going to elevate ourselves to compete with them, at that level for sure.
So an interesting one. Here's something a little more personal. What is your favorite wrestling move that maybe isn't in your arsenal, but it's a wrestling move that you love that you haven't really used yet? Do you have a favorite wrestling move that's not yours?
So I would say I'm a huge fan of Dean Malenko. He was actually one of my early inspirations. And a lot of that is because I loved the fact that he wasn't the biggest person. He wasn't the tallest, because I'm the same way. I'm very physically strong, but I'm not the tallest person to walk out there. I probably don't look like I'm the strongest, and that's okay too. Actually kind of works to my advantage, to be honest. But I would say his Texas Cloverleaf is one that I think is a very it's a very like damning move that you can do. It like legit hurts people.
There's a lot of ligaments being stretched and pulled and torn. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I would say definitely that move. It's something I haven't used in a long time, but I feel like, okay, I'm from Texas. He's a huge inspiration for me. It's very fitting. And honestly, I probably should start using it at some point.
I think, my ode to him. Yeah, as the governor's daughter, I'm sure there's a lot of different ways you can incorporate a new name to that to add a little twist to it. Tell us about your time. This is really fascinating. You had a bout in China. Can you tell us a little background on that? Because that really pops out when you look at your very very starry background as Barbie Hayden. Tell us about China. That's wild.
So I have actually gone to China twice. I was just there last year, but my debut in China was actually the very first ever live and televised women's match in China, like in China's history. And that to me is just, it's so fantastic because, as a performer, as a wrestler, you want to have accolades. Of course, you want to be like, okay, I have this claim to fame. I have this, this, and this. And it's not like getting a championship. It's not like, it's nothing like that where you can, lose it or it comes and goes or whatever. When you're the first person to do something and you make history, no one can ever take that from you. And that's really exciting. Like, it's cool to have something that, like, I know at no point anybody can be like, well, I was also the first. It's like, no, you can't also be the first.
It's very hard to be the first anything nowadays. Right. There's so much wrestling organizations, so many different companies, and so many, it's very limited places to still venture out. So that's a huge accolade to have under your belt. Who would your dream opponent be? And are they even part of the roster? Is there somebody maybe in the past or somebody that you know personally that you are just a huge fan of that you have yet to face yet?
So this is something that I actually was asked recently, and I have even given it thought past that because, I was like, man, I didn't have an answer for them. And the thing is I actually still don't even have that answer. And the reason for it is because I am always genuinely shocked at the types of matches or chemistry that I have with certain people that I did not expect. So to me, I actually really like the element of surprise. I like being put with somebody where I'm kind of like, that was not who I would have picked, but let's see what we can do with this. You know what I mean? And so to me, that's my dream, is just to be put with somebody I don't expect and then try to make it work and see what we can get out of it. Because it's really fun, because like we're not the ones booking our own matches. Right. You know what I mean? So it's really fun to try and make someone else's idea come to life. And I know that probably sounds like a really weird answer because most people are like, oh, so and so and so and so. But to me, I love the element of surprise.
So what would you call your wrestling style? If somebody's new to Barbie Hayden / Abilene Maverick, what would be your wrestling style that you present yourself?
I would say that I'm an opportunist. So I really am. I'm very opportunistic in the way that I think, the way that I act. I'm very deceptively strong. So you will see a lot of ground and pound, and then you'll also see a lot of mind games, because I'm definitely one of these competitors that I want to win at any cost. So it doesn't matter how I have to do it. I will figure something out. Like
that's the name of the game, is winning.
Exactly. So it's not like flashy and over the top and crazy and wild. It's nothing like that. It's calm and collected and calculated moves.
So I'm going to ask you a very Texas question, because I am in San Antonio, and I know you're so you're from College Station originally. Yes. Now that you've got to travel the world a bit, I have to ask you, as a Texan, Whataburger or In-N-Out?
Oh man!
Come on,
all right.
Be honest.
I'm about to. Just everyone in Texas is gonna hate me. I literally had In-N-Out Burger last night. Mind you, I am in LA right now.
Yeah.
So yes, I had In-N-Out, but Whataburger is garbage. It is literally literally a burning dumpster to me. I hate it. They have the worst French fries on earth. Like, that's how I judge things. If they have bad French fries, I'm done.
Okay, yep. So who has the best French fries anywhere?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, so you're a waffle fry kind of girl.
Yes. Give me waffle fries or tater tots, and I'm the happiest person on earth.
Hashtag fry girl. Love it.
Yes.
So I don't know if I can ask this, but I'm going to try. I read somewhere that, and I want to get the word from you, WoW Superheroes does provide some sort of a health insurance to the talent. If that is true, and if we can answer that, what does that mean to you as a professional wrestler?
Okay, so first off, yes, that is absolutely true. In fact, I have been on the receiving end of it at one point. So I do know for a fact that they do provide that for us. It's detrimental. I think that there's a lot of things that I've held myself back from doing because I knew at the end of the day, like, hey, if I get injured, like for real, this company is not going to help me. Like they're going to do nothing to help me. Right. And with WoW, I think a lot of that does have to do with the fact that, Jeannie Buss is obviously the owner of the LA Lakers. So, she works with athletes. She doesn't just treat us like we're replaceable. She really sees our value. She sees our value being healthy. And then she absolutely, makes sure that the company takes care of us. So anytime anybody has any sort of injury, they will be like, here's the information, go to the hospital, get this checked out. So it's really nice.
That's extraordinary. And you see that with some other companies that they're talking about with companies we won't name right now, but that's something that is, I think, a game changer in the world of pro wrestling. And it's great to see and read that WoW Superheroes is putting their foot down and they're doing it. They're practicing it. So that's fantastic. And just another one of the many reasons to support. In addition to a very stacked roster, what are your goals and who do you have your eyes set on for 2019 in WoW?
Okay, so I've always been very adamant about letting people know that at the end of the day, you do not have to be the champion of a company in order to be the face of the company. You can have people believe in you all day and all night, and you can really make an impact and be a key player of any company and not be champion. I know this because I have done this. I have never been champion for WoW, ever. Not tag champion or women's champion, overall like Santana Garrett is right now. Right. But I am also in that realm of I'm tired of sitting back and watching other people have the matches I know I should be having. So you know what? I'm gunning for it. I'm going for that championship this year. That is definitely my goal. I want to be in the talks. I want to be in the running, and I want to definitely prove myself because to a lot of people, that is the make or break of, what makes someone successful or what makes them, valuable to a company. And I just want to make sure that I prove everyone on every ground.
And that has already started. If you're listening to this Wilfred Watches Podcast edition with Abilene Maverick, you've already seen her get a victory over Fire on the premiere episode. So she's already on her winning ways. So if you want to tune in, please do. They are not opening for New Japan. They are coming on after New Japan. New Japan comes on before WoW Superheroes Friday nights at 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern on AXSTV. So Friday night fights are picking up, lots of action. Abilene, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, and I wish you all the success and all the victories. I don't think you need much luck, though.
I don't, but thank you. I will take all of it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good one.